The year of the Illini continues as Brian Campbell wins the John Deere Classic. Locked on Illini, let's go.
You are Locked On Illini, your daily podcast on the Illinois Fighting Illini. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome one, welcome all to another edition of Locked On Illini. Thank you all so much for making us your first listen each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. My name is Sonny Verma, your host here at Locked On Illini, where I continue to provide you coverage daily. That's right, every single day of the beloved. Everything is absolutely free. The only thing I ask for in return is if you can make sure you smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Look, it's the off season, so I know, people may not be as interested in Illini athletics, but I continue to try to provide you shows every single day. And I know that you're watching as long as you're interacting with the show. Leave a comment, or again, as I said, leave a like on this particular video. Today, we're going to celebrate a massive victory for one of the all-time greats in Illinois golf history. Brian Campbell just won the John Deere Classic, folks. And this isn't just another PGA Tour win. This is a full-circle Illini moment. From Champaign to the PGA Tour, from the Prairie Dunes to TPC Deer Run. Campbell's journey is a shining example of what this program is all about. So, again, with it being the off season, I want to experiment a little bit. I have a lot of you guys who email me at talkillini@gmail.com, or feel free to reach out to me on the social medias as well. Hey, cover a little bit more golf. If you can cover maybe some Illini baseball. So now with it being the off season, I can be a little bit more experimental. And with this huge news, I just got done watching it on Sunday with the Illini victory. I figured, you know what? Here's a shot for you fans asking for more golf content. This is for you. Today, we're going to talk about Brian Campbell's legacy, his comeback, and ultimately, big picture, what this means for Illinois golf. So on July 6th, Brian Campbell, former Illinois superstar golfer, won the John Deere Classic in an absolutely electric playoff finish. But this wasn't just a professional victory. This was, in some sort of ways, a homecoming. This was a kid who put Illinois golf on the map during the 2010s, coming back to the Midwest, just a couple hours away from where he played in his college roots. And he got showered with constant ILL, INI chants when he raised the trophy on the 18th green. And let me tell you something, this win felt special. Because if you followed Illinois golf when Brian Campbell was on campus, you know how much he meant overall to the rise of this program. Let's rewind a little bit to his days back in Champaign. Brian Campbell enrolled at Illinois in 2011. And by the time he graduated in 2015, he was one of the most decorated players in program history. And listen, I'm not throwing that around lightly. He was a 3-time Big Ten champion in 2012, 2014, and 2015. He won back-to-back All-American honors in 2014 and 2015, a two-time NCAA regional medalist. He has a program record 54-hole score, scoring at 197 at the McDonald Cup in 2013. And he tied the program's single-round scoring record with a ridiculous 63 at Prairie Dunes during NCAA championship play, which also set the course record on that exact day. Now, that 63 wasn't just impressive. You're talking about legendary status. That's pressured golf. That's in the postseason. And he delivered it like a cold-blooded assassin. If you talk to longtime Illini athletics fans, they'll tell you what Darren Williams was for the early 2000s basketball, Brian Campbell was to Illini golf in the mid-2010s. He made Illinois golf cool. He helped take it national. And he played with a swagger that streamed, I'm from Champaign, and I'm going to beat you at golf. Of course, no story about Brian Campbell is complete without mentioning the absolute legend that is Mike Small, the architect of this entire golf powerhouse that we have at Illinois. Campbell himself said it over and over again. 80% of the reason he chose Illinois was Coach Mike Small. Just think about that for a second. Think about what that means. This kid is from California. He could have stayed out west. He could have gone to warm weather schools. But no, he came to Champaign, Illinois to deal with the wind, to deal with the cold, because of the culture, because of the facilities, and because of Mike Small. Campbell has talked about it many times. The competitiveness at Illinois, the winter practices, the indoor facility, the environment helped shape him into the player that he is today. It built toughness, it built consistency, and most of all, it built his championship mindset. He said it best during a post-round interview this weekend. I love whatever's put out in front of me. I love the wind. Going to a school like Illinois, that's all we played in. So you know what? I'm used to it. That shows a glimpse of the Illini DNA. So let's fast forward to Sunday at the TBC Deer Run. Campbell entered the final round just one shot off the lead, tied for second place at 14 under. And this wasn't a walk in the park. We're talking Max Homa, Emiliano Grillo, David Lipsky, proven PGA Tour players, all bunched up on that leaderboard. Campbell came out shooting hot, 5 birdies in his first 13 holes, rolling the rock, driving it straight, looking very composed. Then came the 15th hole, par 4. He goes double bogey. That could have rattled anybody, but not Brian Campbell. This is where that Illini resilience kicked in. He birdied the par 5, 17th. He scrambled to par on 18, and then he heads off to a playoff against Grillo. First playoff hole, textbook, fairway, green in regulation, 2-putt birdie. Grillo stumbles, and just like that, Brian Campbell is a 2-time PGA Tour winner in 2025. His first win on American soil, and he does it in front of family, friends, and yes, plenty of Illini fans. Now let's zoom out for a second, because this is not just a fluky underdog story. Campbell won the Mexico Open earlier this year. That was his first ever PGA Tour win, and now he's adding a second title in July. He's gone from the fringes of the top 100 to number 28 in the FedEx Cup standings. He's now basically locked in for the Tour Championship, the Masters, the PGA Championship, and the Players Championship. We're talking major level golf. This is big boy status. And when you consider where he started, a California kid who took a leap of faith on a cold weather Big Ten program, for me, it makes this rise all the more satisfying. Here's what I love the most about this entire Brian Campbell story. He's never forgotten where he came from. He still talks about Illinois in interviews. He still visits campus. He still mentors younger players. Man, if that doesn't scream Michael Small disciple, I don't know what does. But more importantly, how about this message to current and future Illini? You don't need to go south to make it onto the PGA Tour. You don't need palm trees and sunshine year-round. What you do need is culture. What you do need is consistency. What you do need is mentorship. And that is something Illinois can absolutely provide. So what does this John Deere Classic victory really mean? For Campbell, it's validation. He's having a breakthrough year that he's worked hard for a decade. It's a stamp on a career that's just now starting to ascend to its peak. But for Illinois golf, it's another trophy on the shelf, another alum making headlines, and another example of what's possible when you buy into the program. Brian Campbell's story is Illini through and through. So yeah, we'll keep cheering him on Sundays, but make no mistake about it. No matter how many PGA titles he wins, he's always going to be one of ours. You let me know, did you get a chance to watch Brian Campbell on Sunday? I'll be honest, I didn't watch the first 3 days, but once I saw him at least competing on Sunday, I was like, all right, let's tune in, let's watch. And quite honestly, I'm glad I did. What an epic performance. So you let me know, did you watch Brian Campbell? Let me know your thoughts on his victory. Let me know your thoughts on Mike Small. I would love to hear it in the comment section. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to the ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and suddenly you realize you want to be in the stands? That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes that possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for an exciting upcoming MLB game. I'll say it again, my favorite part about Game Time is the seat views right in the app before you buy, so you know exactly where you're going to be sitting. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And welcome back to Locked On Illini. It's that time of year again. While it might be a slower stretch for actual college games when it comes to Illini basketball fans, this weekend had plenty to keep our eyes on when it comes to two former Illini, and that's talking about Kasparas Jakucionis and Coleman Hawkins, who both took the floor in their NBA Summer League debuts. These early Summer League games don't count much for wins or losses in the whole grand scheme of things, but for the players, they absolutely matter. These games are auditions. These games are for roster spots. They matter for minutes, and in some cases, just for a chance to get a foot in the door. And for fans like us, it's a chance to see how our Illini stars are adjusting to the next level. First, we'll start with Kasparas Jakucionis, the 19-year-old Lithuanian phenom who dazzled at Illinois last season and was taken 20th overall by the Miami Heat in this year's NBA draft. Now, Kasparas, in my opinion, should have been a lottery pick, and I'm surprised that he fell as far as he did. But having said that, I will say KJ's first weekend debut in Summer League didn't exactly light up the scoreboard. In 2 games, he totaled just 7 points on 1 of 10 shooting, missed all 7 of his 3-point attempts, and Illini fans, he turned the ball over 8 times to just 3 assists. Something us Illini fans at the end of the season definitely got a little used to. But if you're hearing that and getting discouraged, don't. Take a breath. This is what Summer League is for. And if you follow KJ's journey from international ball to the Big Ten, you know this is a kid who's going to eventually figure things out. Let's break it down game by game. In his debut on Saturday, Miami played the Spurs in the California Classic. KJ went just 1 for 7 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, and had 3 turnovers in 22 minutes. But what stood out to his coaching staff, and honestly to me, was how composed he stayed. Miami Summer League coach Eric Glass said it best. Cass was very steady. Never really any high moments, never really any low moments, just super solid. That checks out, right? If you watched him at Illinois, you saw a player who never really looked rattled, even when the turnovers piled up. And yeah, we have a lot of those to talk about, but turnovers were absolutely an issue at Illinois too. He averaged nearly 4 per game and had I believe it was a 25% turnover rate. That's high even for a super high usage guy like KJ, even though he was a freshman. We knew that's something that he's going to have to eventually work on if he wants to succeed at the next level. Next game came up Sunday's matchup against the Lakers, where Jakuconis again struggled from the field. 0 for 3 from both the floor and from deep, and he finished with just 4 points, all at the free throw line. He did add 3 steals, which was a nice flash of defensive activity, and he did have 2 assists, but again, he turned the ball over 5 times. There was a moment early in the Lakers game where Bronny James stripped Jakuconis clean in the paint and took it the other way for a dunk. And that sort of summarized what this weekend was for Kasparas. A welcome to the NBA moment, but credit to him, after the game, he was still upbeat and reflective. He said, "It was different, but I'm happy with the team's performance." And Heat vet Jalen Ware walked home from the game with him and was giving him some advice. He mentioned, "It's Summer League for a reason. If you're going to shoot, don't think about it. Just shoot. Trust yourself." I like that. That should be what this is about for a 19-year-old rookie. And let's not forget, this is a guy who was the engine of Illinois basketball last year, leading the team in usage, making big shots in big games, and playing with an edge we hadn't seen from a freshman in a very long time. Some of you, maybe never. The shots will come. The game will slow down. And with Miami's culture and development system, which has, quite honestly, has turned second rounders and undrafted guys into NBA mainstays, you've got to believe they see something special in him. Next, let's switch gears to Coleman Hawkins, our guy from Sacramento, who went undrafted but signed a summer league deal with Golden State Warriors. If you blinked, you might have missed his first game because he only played 12 minutes, but in that short time, he did have somewhat of an impact. Hawkins posted 7 points and 5 rebounds in those 12 minutes against the Lakers. Not really bad in a limited run. He did commit 3 turnovers, which again is something we saw at Illinois, but the flashes of skill were there. The rebounding, the feel for the game, the length on defense. And look, Coleman's going to be a project at the next level. We've known that. But he's also 6'10" with ball handling ability, vision, and defensive versatility. If he can find the right situation, even just a two-way deal, I think he genuinely could carve out a role in the NBA. He's already said he wants to model his game after guys like Draymond Green and Jared Vanderbilt, long, switchable defenders who can pass and make smart reads. And if you think about it, those are guys who took a couple years to find their groove too. Coleman maybe, hopefully, is just getting started. And I will say this too. One thing I really respected about Coleman's exit from Illinois was his honesty. He knew he felt like he needed a change, and he pursued it. He's betting on himself. And whether it's with the Warriors or another team down the road, I hope he does have the tools to stick. So what does this mean for Illinois? Well, first of all, it's another chapter in what's become something I'm very excited about. Illinois is producing legitimate NBA talent. Jakuconis was a first-rounder. Terrence Shannon Jr., Marcus Damask, all played in the Summer League. Ayo Dosunmu is about to enter his 5th year in the league. And a guy like Coleman Hawkins, hey, he's getting looks. Again, that says something about Brad Underwood and what he's been building. You can come to Illinois, play in a tough conference, get yourself ready for the league. Not just flashy guards or one-and-done wings, but big, skilled forwards, international players, and versatile defenders. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the first weekend was a smashing success for the Illini guys, but what it was a start. These games are the foundation. What every rotation, every turnover, every defensive breakdown, this is all about learning. It's a part of the learning curve. And if you follow these guys at Illinois, which I'm sure viewers of the show have, you know you've got to have the mindset to work and get better. So keep your eyes on Jakuconis. Keep rooting for Coleman. Will Riley will be playing soon. Terrence Shannon Jr. I'm going to talk about in the next segment, because the more these guys break through at the next level, the more it reinforces the fact that Illinois basketball is back on that national landscape. And guess what? This time, it's not going anywhere. And welcome back to Locked On Illini. If you haven't already, make sure you've hit the like button on this particular video. And look, again, it's the off season. I understand the downloads are low. I understand the views are going to be low, but you can help me continue to build this channel and share with your friends that maybe you went to school with at Illini, or maybe you have an uncle who went to the University of Illinois and he's looking for his daily coverage. It's my job, and I take it absolutely very seriously, to continue to provide you the coverage daily so that I can be your one-stop shop when it comes to catching up with Illini. If you're an audio listener, please leave me a 5-star review. It helps me out so incredibly much, and I would sincerely appreciate it. Just following along from that summer league from that we discussed in the last segment, I did want to mention Terrence Shannon Jr. Is poised to have a very big summer league himself. The Minnesota Timberwolves coaches all said that their expectations for him were to lead the team in scoring, and so that's what we want. We want to see Terrence Shannon Jr. continue to be the aggressive scorer, put his head down type of player that he was when he was at his best at Illinois. And it looks like the Minnesota Timberwolves are looking for Terrence to capitalize on his breakout performances at the end of last season and continue on with that positive momentum and hopefully, lead the summer league team to some victories, show some good, solid offensive skills, and more importantly, maybe on the defensive side. The coach also mentioned that he wanted to see Terrence develop a little bit more on the defensive side with some of the responsibilities that he's going to have. I also should mention Terrence Shannon Jr. has a new number. So if you're an Illini fan who likes to collect NBA jerseys, like myself, you have a second jersey to buy. Terrence Shannon Jr. went from 00, and now for this upcoming season, he's going to be wearing the number 1. So a little heads up, you got a couple more bucks to spend if you're looking to collect jerseys. Another summer league story, Quincy Guerrier is going to be playing for the Toronto Raptors at the NBA Summer League in Vegas. Guerrier spent the past season playing for the Raptors, 905 in the G League, where he averaged 10.8 points per game and 5.7 rebounds in 40 games. Thank you to Sahil Mittal for those stats. I'll be honest, I didn't watch much of the G League myself. So, I'm hoping Quincy, who seemingly had a pretty solid year last year, can open up some eyes and get some attention and maybe get a shot playing for the big-time league this year. Speaking of former Illini, Dane Dainja had a very solid performance in his Miami Heat Summer League debut. In just 17 minutes, Dainja scored 13 points and had 3 rebounds as the Heat lost to the Los Angeles Lakers. That's going to just about wrap it up for this edition of Locked On Illini. Thank you all so much for making us your first listen today. For your second listen, check out The Portal Show. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape. Find The Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. I'll say this again. I understand it's the offseason, but if you're looking to talk Illini sports all day, every day, make sure you click on the link in the description and join our Talk Illini Discord. Today, we discussed a little bit the struggles of Kasparas in the NBA Summer League. And look, it's a way for you, if your friends are really not into it during the offseason, but you are an Illini diehard, the Discord is absolutely free. And it's a way for you to continue on conversation with 300 other Illini fans spread throughout the country. If you have an idea for a show, send me an email at talkillini@gmail.com. Over the last couple of weeks, I've taken a lot of your ideas and tried to incorporate it into this show because it's a way for me to thank you for your watching and for your contributions. If there's something in particular you guys want to see, that's what I'm here for. I'm trying to provide you coverage to make you guys watch and listen every single day. So find me on your favorite social media, whether it's Locked On Illini on whichever social media platform you use, Talk Illini, same thing on your favorite social media platform, or send me an email at talkillini@gmail.com. And I'd love to engage in any sort of conversation with you. We've got an action-packed week this week. We're going to cover more Summer League. NCAA College Football 226 is now going to be out. So maybe we'll mention that a little bit. And also, the new Phil Steele magazine has been released. And I've noticed a couple things that I definitely want to bring up on this show. So until next time, ILL. Love you guys.